Most memorable events start a little something like this. So, grade 7, I showed an aptitude for the clarinet. Then, the reason that we so often share memories in the form of stories is because we store them as stories. A few years ago, I was sitting with a group of 20-something grade 6 students, and it was a Monday morning, and we were doing a morning meeting where all of the students shared what they had done on their previous weekend. And the class was rowdy. They were loud, there were side conversations, there were bouts of unrelated screaming, as there is in grade 6, and just general tweenage shenanigans. If you've ever stepped inside a middle school, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I was barely holding on to the control of the room when one of the students cut through all of the noise and shared something about his weekend. 3 words: "My mom died." The room fell completely silent. It was the first moment in that entire school year that there was true silence. And this complete silence was something I hadn't experienced beforehand with this group, and it never happened after that either. Now, later, I did clarify with this student that he did not, in fact, lose his mother. He lost someone that his mom was close to, and while he was caught up in his sadness, he misspoke in our meeting. But no one at the time, including myself, knew that. I was so struck and continue to be so struck by this moment, and over time I've come to the conclusion that it was impactful because it was about salience. The high priority signals in human evolution of social loss, attachment rupture, and mortality lit up the brains of every single person in the room. The room didn't become calm because I commanded it to become calm. It became synchronized because every single brain judged the signal as urgent and meaningful. And that right there is the key. It wasn't the length, it was stakes. Here's the important part. You cannot and should not try to induce trauma-level salience to manufacture attention. That intensity came from perceived loss. And you don't replicate that by escalating drama. You replicate the mechanism that's underneath it. And what was the mechanism at play in that moment? To be completely honest with you, I was struggling with this specific group of students. Their attention was constantly fleeting, and it felt like a regular battle to present them with content that would hold their attention beyond the 10-second mark. And somehow, every single person in that room had reacted to a salient moment in unison. How was that possible?